Hey guys, this is Dfs Chan coming to you live here, January 18th. I'm here to talk about tonight's League of Legends DFS slate. It's a 4-game slate. It's a sizable, very nice slate. 2 games in China and 2 games in Korea. So I'm here to talk about each matchup and kind of share my insights and favorite plays, on the slate. So just to recap, as I mentioned before, we're gonna just have like a 1 or 2 minute recap as to what had happened before. So let's see. It was a 2-game slate, and as you saw, that JDG beat LGD very handedly. They won 25-8, 18-13. LGD seems like they're having a lot of issues this season so far. I know their mid lane is struggling. At least today, he struggled a lot going up against Yagao in JDG. But Kanavi was obviously the difference, in my opinion. He is still rated as one of the top junglers, in my opinion, in LPL. So JDG, it was a blowout for them. And EDG, we all thought EDG was gonna win 2-0 or have higher kills, but I think EDG kind of had an off night. But at the end of the series, they came back and won. So they ended up winning the series, but kind of had to have the long stack in JDG and then short stack in EDG. So that's how cookie crumbles sometimes. And my combined kills per minute metric favored EDG game to be a higher bloody matchup, but sometimes it just works out like that, because sometimes every one of these teams will have a letdown night, but as you can see, EDG on a night like that still came out with a win in the series in the best of 3. So that's pretty impressive still, in my opinion. But props to Ultra Prime to kind of pull off a game in the series, but still, I wasn't hugely impressed with the Ultra Prime for any future bets, anything like that. So let's dive into today's 4-game slate. I posted the starters here on Twitter. It's first of all, in China, it's Team WE versus Top Esports. Top Esports is the big favorite at -600. And then LNG is the big favorite in the other matchup at -650 over Invictus Gaming. And Invictus Gaming notably is starting on at 80 carry, and Xiao Yuji is getting benched. I don't think Xiao Yuji was the problem, but given how poorly they've been playing at times, not all the time, I do think I understand why they're experimenting with on an 80 carry today. And then in Korea, it's Nongshim against Damwon Kia. Nongshim this is an expected lineup, but Damwon Kia is a slight moderate favorite at -325 over Nongshim. And then the second matchup in Korea is KT Roaster versus Hanwha Life Esports. KT Roaster is a favorite at -240, and honestly, this is more like a toilet bowl of the slate. KT and HLE, both teams have been playing pretty poorly lately, so for what it's worth, I'll kind of take a look at what the kill upside is in this matchup combined, and see if it's even worth choosing a winner, or maybe just choose one of these teams as a one-off in the team spot to just differentiate your lineup in GPP purposes. So yeah, let's dive into Team WE versus Top Esports. As you can see, here's the lineup, confirmed starters. Team WE has been starting these starters for a while so far in the season. I'm not a huge fan of View. I haven't seen many impressive performances out of him so far in the split. But I mean, Team WE still is a solid team in my opinion, but Top Esports with Xiaoping, and I heard their voice comms, which is like a soundbite from their last game where they talk, they kind of during the game as to what they talk about, and I really admire the confidence in Xiaoping, and I really like that about him, and I feel like that's the type of jungler that Top Esports need, frankly, with Jackie Love and Geo in the bottom lane. I feel like so. I do like Xiaoping here starting again over Tian. So I do like Top Esports here, just based on the roster and the form that I've witnessed over the past few weeks. I like Top Esports, especially with Xiaoping, to have dominance over Team WE. I do think there's a huge jungle gap here. I do love Xiaoping as a jungler. Tian is obviously a good veteran for Top Esports. He's getting benched and Xiaoping starting again for the second time this season, but I've seen enough out of him, not only the last game this season, but before for another team. I forgot, it was in the LPL, so it was at the top tier level still. I do love him a lot here over Team WE to assert his dominance. So I like Top Esports here. And then I'll kind of go over the metrics to see if, the metrics and data kind of align with what my prediction is. LNG versus IG is the second matchup. LNG has been starting this 5 for the entire split so far. Only 2-3 weeks so far, but still, I mean, it's a pretty impressive roster in my opinion. And then, like I said, for IG Invictus Gaming, On is starting at 80 carry. And let's look at what On stats are like, or if I think is an upgrade or downgrade from Xiao Yuji. Because I actually, before we dive into On, Xiao Yuji for Invictus Gaming had a really good performance in the preseason, like the Macias Cup. So I had like a lot of hopes. I was very hopeful that Xiao Yuji would take IG to the next level, because I feel like in previous years, like especially the past year, they had 380 carries that were just swapping here and there. IG really didn't have a good solid bottom lane, that they could go with. And so like this right here, I mean, seems like it's happening again, but IG is starting On here for what it's worth. So let's dive in and see what his stats and his history is look like. Let's see. So he played with Rare Adam as a temporary substitute, and then he joined Invictus Gaming on December 14th. Has he had a game with IG yet? I don't think they did. I don't think he did. So this is the LDL Summer Playoffs, as you guys know. That's the minor league equivalent to LPL. And looks like he likes to play, obviously, 80 carries in the meta at that time. 3, 2, 3, 5. So, I mean, he's not like a huge carry, in my opinion, who's going to just like blow up. But yeah, I'm not that impressed. The same thing about why he started. Hit there for 1 month. He didn't play in any of the Demacias Cup. I don't know. Did that happen before December 14th? I don't remember. So they finished first in September last year for Rare Adam, but I know Strive has been playing really well. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't think he's an upgrade. I think he's gonna be about the same as Xiao Yuji. like I said, I love Xiao Yuji. I did think he had a really good performance in the preseason. So I mean, I wouldn't downgrade it that much because Xiao Yuji wasn't playing that well either to begin the split. But I think it does hurt IG's chances a little bit. I mean, obviously the fact that it's like a new player coming in and people are excited about it. But I mean they're going up against Light and Lamau and LNG and Tarzan doing B, so I do think LNG should win. But Shun for IG is obviously a very good jungler, probably a top 3 jungler in my opinion. So IG can definitely pull one off, I think, in this series, but I think at the end of the series, I think LNG comes out as a winner. But I think, let me see. I think today, Team WE, I think LNG and Top Esports win. But I do think maybe Invictus Gaming makes a better GPP play, just given how much better I feel like they are compared to Team WE. I'm not a huge believer in View, like I said, but I am a believer in June, who can carry, and Yukai hasn't been that impressive, but I just feel like they can pull it off. Yeah, that's gonna be tough to analyze. I think looking at the metrics will help us. All right, let's go into Korea. Nongshim, Red Force, Damwon Kia. This lineup right here, I mean, Canyon and Showmaker had a really good start to the split again. I know they lost a tough series against Gen.G the other day, but they still performed well. I'm a huge believer in Duck Dom and Killen bottom lane. I do think they're gonna be pretty good in supporting Showmaker and Canyon's dominance here. I do think Hoya is gonna start, but I wouldn't be surprised if they give a start to Birdall here. And then for Nongshim at support position, Peter started the last series, and then Effort played the first game in the split. So I think Peter will start again because they won the last series. But I do think, just given the matchup, I like Damwon Kia to win because of Canyon and Showmaker, and I feel like Duck Dom and Kellen are not a liability like Ghost was. And Ghost is actually playing against his former team in Damwon Kia, as you guys may remember. Ghost used to play for Damwon Kia, including the Worlds last year, but he signed with Nongshim after the offseason, during the offseason. So I think he's going to have some, revenge narrative here against Damwon Kia here. But I like Damwon Kia still. I think they've been playing pretty well. Like I said, they should have won that series against Gen.G. So we'll see. But Nongshim is not a bad team. I mean, Kana is obviously a top tier top lane. And then Dread has been playing okay. And BDD is obviously pretty good. So it's not like they're like a pushover, but I do think Damwon Kia has been pretty solid and pretty in good form lately. So I do think they're gonna win. KT versus HLE. KT is a favorite at -240. I think Rascal and then Cuz, I think he should start still, but Gideon, there's a good chance that Gideon might take over and start here. But we'll see where that goes. But Cuz has been playing a little bit better lately, so I do think Cuz will start if you have to ask me. And then Arya, and then Aiming in Life against Hanwha Life's Dudu on Fleek. I think On Fleek will start again too, but Willer is on the roster, so I put him out there. And then Sam D had a pop off game the other day, but this is a pretty weak roster. HLE probably has the weakest roster in the LCK, so I do think KT is going to win here as well. I think Cuz has been playing well, like I said, better lately, so I do like KT to win. So let's determine what the combined kills per minute, the kill upside is. So as you can see in China, Top Esports versus Team WE, it looks like around 0.85, 0.86. I mean, that's pretty fast. I do think like a top esports should win. And looks like, yeah, like I said, Team WE's jungler View, I'm not a huge believer in him, and it's evidenced by the jungle control metric here. Top esports has about a 6.6% advantage here, and then it looks like they dominate in every other metric as well. So I do think top esports will win. I think Team WE may have to do something about starting View. I'm not, like I said, View, unless he regains his form. I don't think they're gonna go any far for Team WE. The second LPL matchup, combined kills per minute, the kill upside here is a little bit lower than the first matchup we just talked about. LNG is at 0.79, Invictus Gaming is at 0.71, so around 0.7, what is that? It's at 0.75, 0.75 in this matchup versus 0.85. So, the top esports, Team WE, should be more bloody than LNG versus Invictus Gaming, just based on the metric. Like I said, anything can happen, obviously. It also depends on if you think, each winner will win 2-0, or 2-1. So, and then the jungle control percentage is about the same. That's very interesting to me because, like I said, LNG has been playing better as a team, but Invictus Gaming, has June at jungle, and he's really, really good. So I do think Invictus Gaming makes a very interesting GPP play, like I said. And like I said, On is starting in 80 carry, so there is a good chance that people might take some chances on starting On. But if they lose game 1, there's a good chance that Xiao Yuji comes in game 2 and substitute for On here. But most likely On starting here for the first time for IG. So maybe he'll just, they'll just play him throughout the entire series. And then in Korea, Nongshim Red Force versus Damwon Kia. Damwon Kia has been playing pretty fast for Korean standards at 0.82, and Nongshim Red Force is at 0.72, so around 0.77. 0.77 is comparable to what we just talked about between LNG and IG. So I think this matchup is definitely viable for DFS purposes. Let's look at the jungle control percentage. It looks like Nongshim Red Force is actually ahead of Damwon Kia. That's pretty surprising to me, actually. I think it may be due to because Damwon Kia just played against Genji in the most recent series, where Genji has Peanut as a jungler, and he had an amazing game and series, and then also start to the split. So for Canyon, I think over 50% is pretty good, but surprising that Dread for Nongshim Red Force has been, looks like lights out actually. 53% is pretty good. So that's very interesting to me, that maybe Nongshim can definitely pull it off. Let's look at some other metrics to see if any other metric stands out. See, like goal difference at 15 minutes is about the same. And then early game rating, Damwon Kia's is better, so better laners. Mid to late game rating is a little bit higher for Nongshim. So this is very interesting metric, I think, analysis. I think Nongshim it's telling me that Nongshim has more of a shot than I initially realized. So I'll keep that in mind. Like I said, for DFS purposes, this is also a viable matchup. Kill upside comparable to the LNG IG matchup. The last Korean match between KT Roaster and Hanwha Life Esports. Here, this is very interesting and kind of important to point out that the combined kills per minute for these two teams is very low, 0.65 and 0.59, so around 0.62. So that's like much lower than any of the matchups that we just talked about. So maybe it's better to not play any of the players from these matchups. And like I said, maybe play one of these two teams, depending on who you think will win in the team slot, to save salary or anything like that, or to differentiate your lineup. Jungle control percentage, KT Roaster is much better. And like I said, Cuz has been playing much better lately. and I feel like Hanwha Life Esports has the worst roster and talent in the LCK. So I do expect KT to win here. So maybe I'll have KT in the team slot if I need to have that. Otherwise, I don't think this is a DFS viable matchup for kill upside. So yeah, anyway, so that's all I got for you guys today. I know it's a little bit longer because we have 4 games instead of 2 games, but that also gives us an opportunity to kind of differentiate yourself in terms of building lineups, and then, you know, splitting prizes. Obviously, you know, it's not going to be as chalky for DFS purposes. So I think that's very exciting. Frankly, that's probably what people want. People love 4 and 5 game Dfs Slate and League of Legends DFS. So for what it's worth, I do think there are a lot of decent GPP plays today. Like in summary, probably I would still consider Team WE, but I do think IG makes a better GPP play in terms of the talent and the kill upside and the jungle control in June that he can provide. And then in the first LCK matchup, Nongshim versus DK, I think the metrics are pointing out that Nongshim is a you know, live dog against Damwon Kia. So I think I'll have a little bit of Nongshim as well. And then in the second LCK matchup between KT and HLE, the kill upside is so low that I don't think I'm going to touch any players from that matchup. But you know, maybe use one of the two teams depending on who you think will win in the team slot to save salary. So anyway, that's all I got. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me on Twitter or on Discord. And if you like the video, please hit the like button, and then subscribe to our channel if you want to know more about League of Legends DFS. And we obviously provide some other knowledge and insights, you know, to premium subscribers to our channel and our website. So yeah, feel free to check it out. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. All right, have a good one and good luck, everybody.